The interview's over. You can finally exhale. As we talked about throughout this series, our goal is to just put you in the most stress-free space so that when you go into the interview, you can focus on the most important items, which is the conversation and the communication. After the interview, there's a couple last touch points that we recommend doing. So when the interview itself is concluding, just make sure that you're thanking individuals for their time. Just go around the room and say, I really appreciate the time that you took out of your day to talk with me today, whether it's a Zoom video conference call or whether it's in person. Just really thank them for the time. Thank them for explaining certain items. If possible, write down a personal thing that each person said. And what I mean by that is, as you go back, and what we're going to recommend is drafting up emails to send to the individual that you interviewed with. In some positions, we might recommend actually writing not a handwritten letter, but typing something up if it's a position that you really want. Both are going to be written in a very similar way. Obviously, one's just going to be sent over email, and one you're going to bring to HR, and they can just put on the desk of the person that you interviewed with. One of the things that I recommend doing, and this is something I recommend throughout the interview, but you're going to execute on after, is just write down something unique or specific that the people that you're interviewing with said. And what this does is it allows you to create a unique email for the individuals that you're interviewing with. Now, we have some templates that you can use, but we also want to add a personal touch. So if you're interviewing with somebody named Tom, and Tom tells you something about the company that really stands out, or Tom tells you that he's a really big Packers fan, which you are, you can now tell him, hey Tom, you can say in the email or in the letter that you sent to him, you can say, hey Tom, it was great to connect with another Packers fan, and it just adds another element of personal touch that other candidates just won't do. So we want to make sure that those emails are personalized, and so that when you're actually finishing up with the interview and when you're sending that out to them, that you just have that one last touch point that really wows them. And so having those emails, having a personal note, using the attached emails and potential letters that you want to send is going to be the perfect bow on the interview that most other candidates aren't going to do. So with these follow-up emails, we recommend sending them out the day of, because typically they get together and have the conversation about whether or not they want to move forward with you pretty much right after it, and typically they're hiring several other candidates. So the quicker you can get this email out, the better, because then you're fresh in their mind again. And if you're on the front of their mind and you continue to make good impressions and you stay there, you're going to be the candidate that they think of. So once the interview concludes, make sure that you thank everybody, make sure that you have the email addresses, confirm that, and then send those emails or bring that letter in for the HR to drop on the desk to the person that you interviewed with the day of, so that you stand out as a candidate and you're really able to have that last quality touch point that puts you ahead as the candidate for the position. So wrapping up the interview is super important. Make sure that you walk out of there as confident as you left, and make sure one of the big things that you do throughout the interview, and make sure that you do at the end of the interview, is just make sure that you're smiling and that you look positive and upbeat, because you want to be somebody that has a bit of a magnetic look to them, so that when they leave, they feel that you had a very positive experience. They had a very positive experience with you as you went through the interview. So executing on these things after the interview is going to absolutely allow you to stand out as a candidate, and will absolutely help you lock down that job.